live now, man. Yeah, okay. We are very much live. Welcome to One Life. We are here for a very, very special reason. And I am absolutely honored to be approached by Stonebreed to do a one-off LA Fire special. We in the UK have been watching this natural disaster been going on for a long, long time. And I tell you what, all of us have been taken back by about how bad this has actually got. But as indie artists, as One Life is always promising everybody, we make sure that we support everybody in the best way we can. What best way we can in One Life? We've got an army behind us, okay? 2,000 followers around One Life. Tonight is your time to speak up, support, help, put the message out, find the radio stations, do what you can to support all of these families in LA, okay? I am fed up, and I'm going to put this out there right away. I'm fed up of hearing it's LA, it's Hollywood. They've got the money. No, they don't. Not every single one of them. There is families like me, like Paul, like Stonebreed out there who have lost their homes, lost their families, lost their possessions, lost everything what's meant dear to us. Forget the LA part to it, okay? They are a community of human beings, okay? They are a community who need our support, and I need our support more than ever now, because at the end of the day, this is not just a fire. This is a natural disaster, and it is growing bigger every single time we watch it on the news, okay? So One Life tonight, in an hour and a half, I want you to join us as a community, as we do in One Life, to make sure we spread the word of this man's amazing album that he's putting together, because that's the biggest reason we're here. We've got an indie artist who has actually seen where he lives, where he is, where his friends are, where his family are being affected by a natural disaster. And in such a small time, and Carlos, how you've done it, I really don't know. We will speak about that in the program very shortly. In such a short time, you put together a platform, an album, and a way in which artists can connect, and been able to put a music family together to raise money for this, this disaster. And it's absolutely amazing what you've done. We'll learn a bit more in the show about how that all started, and basically, how you were affected by the fires, etc. later on in the show. But what I want to do also is I want to give you out there in the community of One Life, and even if you're not a member of One Life, please join us tonight, okay? Give us some understanding and some love and some support. Tell us about what support's out there, okay? We've got an idea. Carlos has got an idea. Tell us about your idea. How are you going to be helping the fires of LA, okay? Everybody's been doing it, from the press, the media. Me and Paul in the UK are not even connected. At the end of the day, we are indie artists who are, devastated by what we've seen on the TV. We are putting towards podcast programs. We're putting our music towards the LA, fires. And we're from the UK, all over the world, from Donald Trump talking about it, during his inauguration last night, to the royal family in the UK being out there with the families at the moment, seeing how they can raise money and supporting, every single person is getting off their chair and supporting these families in the best way we can. We need all your help, all your money, all your support, all your love to stop these fires from burning any longer. It's got to stop. We don't want it, and we don't want to see any more devastation. There's enough devastation going around the world at the moment. I'll tell you what, I sat here yesterday proud to be telling everybody that the war in Gaza is finally stopping. At the end of the day, hopefully the war in the Ukraine will follow in the same way. The fires are hopefully going to be finally put out. 2025 is a year where everybody stands in solidarity with each other and actually says, do you know what? We've got a planet to save. We have got a planet to save. We have got to stop these wars, stop the hatred, stop the fires, and stop everything what's going on around us. Because if not, we're going to lose it. We are going to lose everything. I'm really passionate about this message tonight because at the end of the day, I've got family in America, not near LA, not been affected, but I haven't seen him for 20 years. And do you know what? They tell me about the tornadoes. They tell me about the wildfires. I don't want to wake up tomorrow morning and know that my sister's, and I haven't seen him for 20 years, is gone because of something like this. I think at the end of the day, we all don't realize how big this actually is. We wake up like those families are waking up in LA on a day where they found out that they're going to have to go through the most natural disaster they've ever been through in their lives. This is the biggest disaster we've seen in years. Okay. So I'm going to start today's show off. I'm going to introduce you to these two guys and how they met in a very short period of time. But I'm going to take you all back on a journey with me to how these fires first spread. And we all woke up that morning, saw it on the news, and was like, is this real? Because I don't know about, and I'm going to ask these two after they've seen this video. I don't know about you. When I woke up, I thought I was watching a film. I thought I was watching Armageddon. I thought I was like Vanessa had just left something on telly for me. I did not realize this is actually real. I thought I was watching a film. But to actually go through what's going through these films now, what I'm going to show you, wow, that's real. Okay, that's, come on. Let's get together, One Life community. Let's support Stonebreed and their amazing album. But let's support the LA Fires, okay? So, sorry about the passion, but at the end of the day, I'm not going to stop, okay? That is the whole reason we're here for One Life. We are there for you. We are there to support you as indie artists, but also the local and national charities. Okay, so without further ado, let's get on with our show because we've got some absolutely rocking music for you to listen to throughout the show tonight. Okay, we're with each other for an hour and a half. Great tracks coming up your way, great guests, and also some great conversation, okay? So less from me, let's get on with the show. So let's rewind to the day it all started.
If you want to make a full-time income from home working part-time, you need to know
Don't
this
you love
one
YouTube?
concept because there is a new and better.
Let's keep going. Okay, I'm going to bring you all back just for 1 minute because I've realised something that video is particularly skipping, and what I don't want to lose is the context of the video, but also the reason why we're all here. There are thousands of videos that have been put around the world in relation to the LA fires. That started some weeks ago, and I think I've seen on YouTube alone how viral the videos have gone. And we've unfortunately we've been overtaken by the new president coming in. If it hadn't been for that, I think the main show, on Sky News and things like that would have been a continuation of the wildfires, But we have a new president come in, that's going to overtake that, unfortunately. But those fires are still in the background. So I'm going to start off tonight's show because at the end of the day, we and Paul are from the UK, and we're not going to really know the devastation that is really going on now, today, and also about what it felt like for LA residents, on that day they found out about the fire. So, Carlos, let's bring you up straight away, and I want to ask you a question straight away. Can I find out exactly where you are in the US?
Right now, I'm in Palmdale, California, United States, and I am literally about 45, 50 minutes north of downtown Los Angeles. More like
Wow,
50 minutes
fantastic.
away.
So you're very close to everything what's been going on. So, Carlos, can you remember the day it all started? Sort of, in terms of family, friends, and what that felt
Yeah,
like.
absolutely. I'm a musician, but during my daytime, I have a day job where I go out and I do deliveries, for a certain product, basically. And where I live at, I live in a town called Palmdale, and there's a mountain range that goes. If you want to take a shortcut and get into the middle part of LA, you would take what's called the Angeles Crest Highway going over the Santa Monica Mountains. Now, I'm in Palmdale. When you come over the Angeles Crest Highway, it's about a 40-minute drive over the mountain. So it's a beautiful drive up to the mountains, beautiful scenery, windy road. Get down to the other side, and you're in the city of Altadena. So every day, that's where I go, and that's where I come back from. So after going to work that day, I was coming home from um, work, and I was getting ready to come back across the Angeles Crest Highway. And I was hearing on the news, fires breaking out. I really didn't think nothing of it. It was in Pacific Palisades, which wasn't where I was at. We get a lot of fires in California all the time, so I really wasn't that alarmed. You get a fire, the firemen go, they put it out. Sometimes it gets really bad. It might burn a house or two, but not to the degree of what this was. I started making my way toward home, and I noticed when I got toward Altadena, they were cops blocking everybody off, saying you can't go this way. And I looked up, and I could just see fire in the foothills of Altadena, so they had to reroute me. It take me an extra hour and a half to get home that night because I had to go all the way around the mountain and go up to a different highway. But the whole ride, I was just trying to listen to the radio and figure out what's going on. As soon as I got home, I started watching the news, and it just it was devastating to see what was going on because I mean, like I said, we're used to having fires in California, but we're not used to these fires burning down whole neighborhoods and whole cities. I mean, all of a sudden, Malibu was just gone. Pacific Palisades was just gone. Altadena was, halfway gone, and now it is gone. But at the time, I was watching. I'm like, man, this fire is just eating up whole neighborhoods, and it was incredible. It was
Carlos, can I ask you
devastating.
a quick question? Carlos, can I
Yeah,
ask you a quick question? So,
sure.
over here in the UK, when we saw it on Sky News, when I said Armageddon, and it felt like a film set. When we're saying a state has been wiped out, you know, in terms of friends and family, and in terms of trying to give people a visual picture. Now, I've woken up and I've seen these like pictures on Sky News, and I've seen basically what is a whole town just literally devastated by fires to the point that there's shells of cars, there's empty rubble, people have died. We're not talking, when people talk about places, when the places that you talk about, Malibu and things like that, to us in the UK, they may be a small village or a small city. How big are these places? How many people are affected by these fires?
Well, I mean, there's just thousands and thousands of acres. I mean, Los Angeles is a huge, huge metropolitan area. And I mean, there's millions of people here. I mean, the city of Altadena, I mean, I really just don't know how many people, but it's huge. These ain't villages. We're in the second, biggest city in the United States of America, and all these people are crammed into these little counties and these little cities. So, literally thousands and thousands and thousands of people were affected just in Altadena, and thousands of more and thousands upon thousands. So I mean, hundreds of thousands of people. I know they've already said close to 300,000 people have been displaced,
Wow.
out of their homes right now.
And
Three hundred
can we get
thousand people. That's like a whole city.
Carlos?
you know.
Carlos, you're an indie musician, okay, who work with indie musicians around where you work with, and the story obviously spread like wildfire in terms of fires, pardon the pun, but it's spread around the world very quickly about what was going on. And, one of the things I've been disgusted by the media and also the response is the fact that we keep going to the Hollywood sign, being burnt down, and the LA stars have all lost their homes and replaced their homes and things like that. Carlos, you must have been in contact while doing this album with so many artists who have been affected by these fires, who are day-to-day people like me and you, who are not millionaires, not the royal family, house, I've got, it's devastating. I've got nothing against any stars or any like royal family or anyone losing their home. It is devastating. Whoever you are, to lose your home, to lose your possessions, to lose the loved ones around you, at the end of the day, that's the most devastating. But actually, let's actually put it out in real perspective terms out there. There are friends and family who do not have a mansion. They have a small house that they have been trying to get together, to get the money together to live, like a day-to-day person. Carlos, you must mean I've had several stories throughout your radio shows, throughout your links to this new album. There must have been several stories. Has there been anything that has really touched your heart?
Well, I mean, there's I've had several, people that I know. I mean, like there's a producer that lives in the hills, and he lost everything. And I saw, um, you know, basically, on I didn't. This is not one of the artists on the album, but I just saw on the news last night. There's an artist. He's like 88 years old. He's a real famous Latino artist, and he won a Grammy and stuff. And I wish I could remember his name right now, but that touched my heart because he lost $200,000 worth of equipment, all of his Grammy awards, everything in his house, all of his,
Oh,
everything that he's ever owned, all of his recordings, all of his memorabilia, all of his press clippings. I mean, his clothes. He lost everything. He got out with his wife and his dog, and but hey, at least he got out with his life. I mean, everything else is, some of it, memorabilia might not be replaceable, but stuff like that. And then I know people that had to, evacuate their homes and stuff like that. I do know a friend of mine that's in a band. His house burnt down, and he was staying in Malibu, like at a his girlfriend's parents' house. They were out of town, so him and his girlfriend were staying there. He had his equipment out there, and they had to evacuate. Came back, the house was totally burned down. All of his stuff was gone. So, yeah, it's been pretty heartbreaking. And that's just people that I know. But being here, I watch the news every day. I mean, it's nothing but just people who are lost just so much. It's incredibly devastating. Really
And
crazy.
it's not just about it's not one of the things that when I've been watching the news, it's not just about the loss, it's the community. But one of the things, not just the community, it's the way communities act. My American friends, American colleagues, and you over in LA, you've done what you do best. You support each other through, what's a natural disaster, basically. But that community spirit doesn't live in us all. I think I've seen also pictures of people looting, people pretending to be firefighters,
Yes.
conspiracy theories. At the end of the day, this has gone wild in relation to, other things which have happened. So, family members aren't just losing their homes, they're losing their lifestyles. They're scared to go out because of the fires, but they're also scared to go out because of people not doing the things that they should be doing, not being those community members, pretending to be firefighters. Is absolutely disgusting, to actually go out there, pretend to be a firefighter in this most horriblest of times and pretend to be a firefighter, because they want to steal, Carlos, have you had any stories about, the other side of the fires, people, fighting or, looting or, those pretends? Are those stories real? Are they happening? And
Oh
from
yeah,
what they're
they're
showing on
real.
the
I mean,
news?
yeah, they're definitely real. I mean, like I said, I live here. I watch the local news, so I see it. I mean, that is definitely true. I mean, people are, dressing like firemen and getting, trying to steal, from, looting people's houses. I mean, people were looting houses right away. it's very unfortunate that people try to take advantage in situations like that. And I don't know why. I think because they think, oh, well, these people are super rich, but not only just rich people got affected by this. I mean, like I said, that city I talked about in Altadena, that's a pretty poor community, parts of it. And I mean, there were even looting going on in there. I was like, that just, I think it just brings out the bad side of humanity. And, that's just, there's good and there's bad in all people. And, hopefully the good and most of the good people do the right thing. And, the bad people, well, all I can say is I bless,
You're going to lose
I
out
hope God
eventually.
blesses
You're
them.
going to lose out
Yeah.
eventually.
Yep.
God bless them. At the end of the day, they will lose out eventually. At the end of the day,
Exactly.
I think we're going to be like we were in the UK when we had our riots. They're going to be filtered. They're going to be stopped. And I think we're going to get to a point where actually we are going to be able to make America great again. As the president was saying last night, we are going to make America great again, but we're going to make LA great again. At the end of the day, I've heard of the rebuild stories. At the end of the day, we're going through these disasters. The fires are still raging and we're still trying to get rid of them, but we will get rid of them and we will make LA great again. So, what is the community spirit like in LA at the moment in terms of making LA? We heard it last night. We heard it from President Trump. We heard him say, let's make America great again, but let's also rebuild LA and make LA great again. How good is it over in LA where that community spirit needs to be at the highest to actually rebuild a massive, we can't even imagine the size of these fires. It looks as though it's bigger than London. It looks as though it's incorporated like the whole of Great Britain by one fire. So what is the community spirit like over there at the moment? How are they helping people?
Well, now that it's been a couple of days and the shock is over, the fires are still not out, mind you. There's still fires
No, they're
going on,
not.
but
No.
it looks like they're getting more contained, and it doesn't look like there's too much real danger at the moment. But I think the community's ready to all just bond together and just help and just a sense of we're all in this together. We're a community. We're LA strong. It doesn't matter if you're from Malibu, Altadena, if you're from Compton, if you're from Palmdale. It doesn't matter if you're all in the whole Southern California area. You want to be helping. And what the cool thing about it is when something like this affects us, it affects the whole nation and obviously the whole world, because we're here, we are talking with you, and it's affected you guys. So
Yeah.
at the end of the day, it's just we're all one big community of humanity of wanting to help people in need, and that's what it is. It's just one big sense of community, wanting to help each other.
Fantastic. Well, I tell you what, I'm going to put my community across the bottom. Okay, this is One Life. Okay, this is a platform for over 2,000 people to support bands like this, to support AIDS like this. The reason we built One Life was for local and community charitable support. We're going to have natural disasters, which are going to be on One Life. It is up to us in One Life to support these artists in any way whatsoever, but also support the charities that they support. Okay. So I'm going to invite you at this very moment at 23 minutes into the show to show me how much support you can give Carlos, okay? So much so that it's not just going to be Carlos who is supported tonight, it's going to be the LA Fires and the support that he has chosen in relation to one aspect of the LA Fires. Before I go on to that, I'm going to ask you if in the next 5 minutes, One Life supporters, to put your stories out there about how the fires affected you, but also put your stories out there about how you are going to support Carlos, but also support the LA Fires. Okay. If you have got a support group, if you have got a charity, if you've got the minus of things like you're going to go around to your neighbor's house tomorrow and bring in some coffee, some tea, some blankets, put it in the comments. Let's see how good we are at supporting, LA and supporting one another here at One Life. Okay. So that in the next 5 minutes, let's get the comments in. Let's see them come in thick and fast. I'll read them out during the show tonight. And we'll see where you are in terms of support. Carlos has also talked about that. Carlos, one of the things I want to talk about is the album tonight. Let's get some songs on. Let's show everybody about your album, okay? Carlos, in terms of the amount of devastation in the LA fires, there's several people who are going to need our help over there. We have got, obviously, the local hospitals. We have got, the first aid. We have got schools. We have got so many different people out there who are going to need our support. We know that the LA firefighters are the forefront of the way in which we are going to stop this fire from spreading, and we're going to put it out. So I know why you've chosen the firefighters, but was there a particular reason why you chose the firefighters, and that's why you wanted to develop this great album?
Yes. When I very first started seeing on the news the firefighters, how hard they're working, how they're battling against this fire, and that's what they are. They're battling a fire. They're fighting a fire. They're in war and they're trying to win. And these guys are, out there, you know, 8 o'clock comes around, your shift ain't over, buddy. If this fire's still going, you're working 12 hours, you're working 18 hours, you're working 20 hours. And that's what these firefighters are doing out there. And then I start seeing these horror stories of them not having the right equipment, not having even water because the government, they don't have enough trucks, they don't have enough guys out there because our city leaders cut their budget $17 million in the last 2 years to make room for make more money for the homeless people. And I just felt like, these are the guys that need our help the most right now, because they're the ones that are trying to save the rest of the city. Right now the city's still on fire and they're out there working. We got firefighters coming in from other uh, cities, other states to help. We have firefighters coming in from other countries. We have firefighters coming in from Canada. We have firefighters coming in from Mexico. Because of all the people that are displaced, that are taking up all the hotel rooms and Airbnbs, a lot of these firefighters don't even have places to sleep. They're sleeping in the trucks, or they're sleeping in small tents outside of their trucks in the woods and stuff where they're putting these fires out at. It's incredible when I saw that. So I thought, the people that I personally think need some help the most, the quickest, the fastest is the firefighters, because they're the ones that are on the front line battling. It's going to take months, it's going to take years to rebuild everything. There'll be more benefit concerts down the line with Taylor Swift's and Elton John's, Metallica's. But right now, what the small independent people can do, us artists can do, is collect some funds for the firefighters who are fighting it right now and give it to them immediately. It doesn't matter if it's 1,000, 2,000, 5,000, $10,000, whatever we raise. If it can help a firefighter with some new boots, a new helmet, some new gloves, figure out how they need their trucks fixed, whatever it can do to help the firefighters, that's what this is all about. Because I personally believe that they need the help the fastest and the quickest right now.
They do. And Carlos, do you know what? At the end of the day, it doesn't just stop at the firefighters, it stops at their family members. At the end of the
True.
day, like our American forces are, imagine sending your mum or your dad or your brother and your sister to go and, stop these fires. You don't know whether they're coming home alive. If you see how high those fires are and how devastating those fires are, your family members, and we've got to remember this across the world. I'm sorry, a 3-year-old boy saying goodbye to his dad in the morning who's looking after those fires for an 18-hour shift. It might be going through his head. He's never going to see his dad ever again because those fires are raging so hard, and his dad's coming home so knackered, going out the next day, not knowing the weather is going to stop. It hits families. It hits home. It hits everybody, and the firefighters out there, we thank you for all that you're doing and what you're putting yourselves through. And also, we salute you for putting yourself at risk, to save everybody else. We salute every single firefighter who's going through this. As indie artists, we are making an album to support you, to make sure you come home safe and you put out those fires and come home safe. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come on to some of that great music. Let's get the music on the show. We have got people watching us this evening. We've got lots and lots of little comments coming through already. Kelly McCormick, God bless you all. Good evening, Kelly. Lou Vetra as well is making a hello message as well. What I want to do, and I never do this on One Life, what I want Paul and Carlos to do is invite friends and family onto the show by sharing their links. This is a personal link that you can only have sent to you if you're coming live on One Live tonight. So I'm going to go wild with this. If you have got a story to share about the LA fires and how it's affected you, or if you've got a story to share about how you have supported and helped the One Live fires, Paul and Carlos are going to send their magic links out to the studio tonight. And I'm going to invite some of you during the show tonight to come and tell us and come and talk to us, okay, during the show, okay? So that's never happened here at One Live before. We're going to give it a go. We're going to give it a trial. Paul's putting his hand up. He's like back at school.
I tell you why. I don't want to interrupt anybody because it's super interesting. I just want to help Carlos. I'm getting a lot of messages saying they can't find the link to get onto the show. So Lou has dropped in, which he said, "Great job, Carlos," which is wonderful. But I've just pumped it out a little bit, as much as I can do. But I don't know if Carlos gets another few seconds to maybe again just get the link there, because there are people asking for it. A lot of people have obviously jumped on the for some reason they can't get onto the link, but there's certainly more people trying to get into the show than is reflecting in what we're seeing today. So,
Lou is one of
So
the artists.
what I'm going to do.
Yeah,
Lou is one of the artists on the CD as well. So
she
maybe
is.
we can get him to link
300 artists, I think, trying to get in on it. So that.
I tell you what, I don't know what I'm talking about. I can do this easy, being in control of this whole show. Ladies and gentlemen, over at One Live, if you are watching on Facebook, X, and YouTube, the link's going on right now while we play some great music. Okay, so here's the link, everybody. Come join me. I want to see you. Let's spread those words. Let's spread those stories. I never do this, and I'm really scared, just in case there's so many people, it breaks the internet. But I'm going to do it anyway, so here we go.
Let's do it. Woo!
Let's do it.
Well,
let's join us. Okay, there you go. It's been shared with the world. Just click on the link. Just go to StreamYard, and I'll see your face. I'll make you join. Okay, so while they're doing that, Carlos, we've got to get one of your great songs on straight away. So a quick background. How did this all come about in terms of the album itself and the platform? Because I'll tell you what, mate, it spiraled literally when Paul sent me the link to your album. He said, come and have a look at this great album. It's a charitable album for the LA fires. And I saw a few people join, and then all of a sudden, when he showed me the playlist, it's like gone from 30 to 150 to 200 people. Wow, that's an amazing job, buddy.
Yeah, and actually, as of today, it's over 300. Because I keep adding every day. So basically, what it is, there's a platform called Bandcamp where you can put an album up. Most bands put their 6 to 8, 10, 12 song albums up, but this platform at the time I didn't even know, but you can add as many songs as you want to a digital album. So what I decided was, I was like, man, what if I put together just a little compilation CD that maybe I can get 10, 15 of my friends and bands from LA, and maybe a couple friends of mine from across the states that are good friends of mine to contribute a song. Maybe we could raise a couple of bucks and help out. And that's kind of all I was really thinking. I didn't think that it would get this viral, so to speak. And so basically, I put a feeler out. Hey, if I'm going to put this CD, compilation together, would your band be interested? Woke up the next day and I literally have 40, 50, people going, where do I send them a song? Where do I send my song? Okay. So that day I was like, okay, we're going to do this. So I put the thing up and said, all right, we're going to do this. Then all of a sudden, every day I'm getting 50, 60 different, bands submitting songs and this and that. So I've got more to add. We're up to 300 songs now, and these are just, I thought it was just going to be bands that I know, but once the word started getting out, we've got bands from all over the world. We've got bands from Italy, Canada, France, Brazil. We've got all kind of different genres of music. We got country, we got rock, we got heavy metal, we got death metal, we got pop music, we got techno, we got electronica music, we got house music, we got all kind of stuff that you could, just all kind of genres, all kind of people. We didn't discriminate, and it wasn't like, let me listen to it, but if I think it sucks, you're not making it on here. Everybody made it. If you sent me a song in, you're on this compilation. So there's over.
I got a minute. Hang on. Carlos.
Now,
I got a minute.
Now it is blowing up, man.
300 people. Right, listen.
Yeah.
300 people, and I've got a
People
gentleman whose tits at the top here. okay, from the Paul Boston band. He's sitting there
No,
saying,
I want to make sure that the horns
don't
are up
forget
for
me."
everybody, man. Because now
Listen,
we've got
Carlos,
folks
I tell you
jumping
what,
in.
you have reached as far over the pond for the UK, okay? And Paul Austin was one of the members who basically wanted to put his song in Land of Plenty. We will play that tonight. Paul, can I just quickly jump in? We're talking about 300 people. You know, how did you find this man and how did you get this song to this man?
Carlos is pretty prolific on his own Facebook page, and in actual fact, what you don't know, he's also a booking agent for one of the biggest shows in LA. So he's a pretty well connected guy. So don't let him sit there all very humble. He's connected in the music industry in LA. So he was advertising for bands, and I just saw some of his stuff, and then I saw what he's done with his album. And this for me was a great opportunity to try and help, because we've been, as you said, we've been watching, and as you know, the lyrics of Land of Plenty talk about people being left behind and not being looked after. So that's another thing. That's just me blowing up the song. But it was a great chance to get in with somebody who's doing something for real. Because sometimes when you think you're donating to a charity, you send a few dollars here, a few dollars there, it never seems to feel as if it's actually doing any good. Whereas this idea that Carlos came up with, I'd never thought it would blow up to 300, buddy. I must be honest with you. So well done, man. You know, you could hold a concert around the world here for 300 bands. I mean, you know, forget Live Aid. This guy knows more musicians around the world now than Elton John. So it really, for real, man. And he has connected not just this album, but he's connected a worldwide web of musicians. The one language that everybody shares is music. Doesn't matter the way you speak French, Spanish, English, German, Slovakian. Music is the one language that everybody understands. And so by putting this album together, he's grabbed all these musicians that are really seem driven to make it work for him. I mean, this guy could have 1,000 people on this. I'm telling you, that's how big he could blow it up. It could be the world. I think there's a Guinness Book of Records thing here, man, for the biggest album. Maybe we should do that.
Let's go for it. Why not? I tell you what, Carlos.
Seriously.
I tell you what,
You know,
One
seriously.
Life. But listen, Carlos. Seriously, I'm gonna step in. Carlos, one thing that One Life loves to do is a One Life challenge. Okay, so the Guinness Book of Records is well renowned. I tell you what, come on, One Life, let's go for it. I tell you, let's make this the biggest charitable support CD that the world has ever seen. Okay, we know that the media artists are jumping on this like rocket fire. In a few weeks' time, there will be a benefit gig live in Los Angeles, live wherever around the world. Okay, let's jump on it, indie artists. Let's beat them to it. It's already been announced. Okay, well, let's jump on it. They haven't got the world record. Let's make this CD the Guinness Book of Records world's biggest stream. You know, let's make it the world's biggest CD. Come on, everybody. Let's get together. Let's get and help Stonebreed make this an amazing album.
Adrian,
I'm down with
if
it.
you could just let Carlos know people are jumping on it now. You know, Dawn's just jumped in as well. She was actually messaging me, how can I find the link? So, you know, thanks for everybody that's looking at Carlos's page, finding this, and starting to join the
Would that be
show.
Dawn?
Sure.
Would that be Dawn Brink by any chance?
You bet. She's there, and she's calling you badass, man. She's calling you badass.
She is so inspirational. She's gotten so many bands to come onto this thing. That girl right there knows a lot of bands as well. Thank you, Dawn.
Come on, can we get some music, Adrian? Let's get a little taste of this album.
I'll tell you what, before I put one music track, I want to actually go for the support side of this, because Christina Aguilera has just turned around and says, you know, I'm going to be happy and I'm going to advertise this. Okay, this world record's coming, guys. So to get this world record, we need to show that we are the best music indie artists out there in the world. And we're very best has started off the album straight away. Okay, so what good album would be put together without the creator coming onto the album as well? So Stonebreed, you have got your music out, and that's got to be played first, because you are the mastermind behind this project, and your single Into the Flames is going to be played right now. Tell us a little bit about it.
Well, it's just a single that we put out a while back. It has nothing to do with the LA fires or nothing. It's just about being, relationship issues. But I figured since it said, Into Your Flames, it was an LA fire deal. We might as well put that song on the CD. And I like the song,
Amen.
and I hope you guys like it as well.
Amen.
Well,
Yeah,
I'll tell
brother.
you what, I'll do the connection bit to you. Do you know what? There must be a lot of families who have been connected and worried about this. Families who have probably been through relationship breakups during the LA fires, but I bet they're still together now. I bet it's brought them closer together, because when you go through a natural disaster, you all of a sudden realize actually those people around you are your family, your loved ones, and it will bring people back together. Every single song on this album will have a connection in some way to the LA fires. It's about that bigger picture, about that wider picture. So when you're sending your songs in and they are coming in by their droves, okay, think the bigger picture, how that may affect one of those children, one of those adults, one of those loved ones, one of those communities. Okay, great albums, great songs coming in. So everybody, while we take a quick break and we play some music to you all and we try and get you on board, remember to keep the comments going. Here comes Into the Flames by Stonebreed.
We'd love to hear it, Amy. I can't hear it, man.
Come on.
Sometimes in life you live to wonder how to love and not get burned. And when you get the kiss of death,
Hey,
just
you're gonna
remember what you learned. I felt the heat from the first time. Now I've never been the same. You got me burning like a fever. I'm burning in your flames.
I can acapella one. You ready?
Yeah. Put the lyrical finger on with you, man.
All right, ready, Paul?
Girl, I'm finally realizing you got me running into your fire, burning into your flames. I don't know how you broke my heart, but it burns like hell. Can't break away from your fever. I can't break away from your spell. I felt the heat from the first time. Now I've never been the same. You got me burning like a fever. I'm burning in your flames. You got my temperature rising. Girl, I'm finally realizing, oh, you got me running into your fire, burning into your flames. My fire lady, come put your heat on me. I feel your burning desire, 100,000 degrees.
Sorry, mate, can't hear you.
I feel the fire. It's
I can't see that.
There's no sound.
the other side. I'm burning in your flame.
I believe it. I didn't for a minute, and I refreshed it, got back in, and I'm finished.
Are they playing your track?
You got my temperature rising. No. Girl, I'm finally realizing, oh, you got me running into your fire,
Fantastic. Okay, so let's go through a few of the ground rules for this evening to our artists. Okay, we are on a live show to expert Facebook and also the YouTube channel. That means we are accessing thousands and thousands of people. I tell you what, guys, it's a bit different to being on the radio. You are on a live podcast show, which means you are accessed by thousands of people. That does mean that we get a jam in terms of copyright, also in terms of everything else that goes on around the world. Can I just promise you, Carlos, your music was heard loud and proud, okay, out there in Facebook world, also YouTube world and the next, okay, thousands of people have heard that track. Lots of people are coming back saying, what a great track, and what an amazing track, okay?
Thank you.
It was heard loud and proud. So for our artists, there may be times throughout tonight's show you cannot hear it. One of my recommendations to you, if you want to rock around with the rest of the crew, okay, get a second device. You can hear it on a second device. I'll turn you, mute your mics so you can still hear it. Paul's done it with his mobile. Okay, so if you can't hear it through StreamYard on your direct device that you've got tonight, it is played. It is going out loud and proud. And your friends, your relatives, and your fans are right behind you when it comes to your music tonight, okay? So, great song. We've got the connection. We've got the vibe going. Let's keep the music going. Let's go very quickly over to the UK, over to Paul. Let's give him a bit of time to talk about his track in relation to how he put it together and also what the track means to him and why it's so important to get his track out there to support the LA Fires.
Well, just to put a bit more flesh on the bones that Carlos was talking about and give you some of your listeners a sense of the disaster. Carlos was sort of mentioning to you there, but you know that there's $250 billion worth of damage. That's the kind of rough estimates that the insurance companies are now worried about. $250 billion in damage. So this is the national GDP of many countries around the world, and this is just an area in California. That's the level of damage here. And something like 12,000 properties have been lost. So it isn't just, as you quite rightly said, the millionaires. There are real world, hardworking folks that have lost a lot, and every possession. And the third thing to know for people understand, if your house is still standing, I can assure you that the smoke damage is, again, just as bad. People can't return to these homes because of smoke damage. I was actually in the business of a company that cleaned up after smoke damage. And it's a nasty business to do and can take some time before people can even, get back into their homes. So it is those are the kind of quick stats that people like to hear about these days. So $250 billion worth of damage, 12,000 properties gone. And Carlos was right. These fires are still bubbling underground in the roots of a lot of the trees. So be careful that they don't just blow up again with the winds. If these winds come through, they can reignite them very easily. But, what was Land of Plenty about when I put that song forward instead of other songs I have was are the words to Land of Plenty. And basically, it's saying that in a land of plenty, like the US, like the UK, people are struggling. They can't find food. They can't find shelter. Veterans living under in cardboard boxes under bridges. Kids are cold. Old people are tired. They can't get food. People can't find work. So the idea behind Land of Plenty was just a message in the song. Didn't think it'd blow up in the way that the album's gone. It was really, hey, here's a song. If you listen to the lyrics, you might find that it moves you a little bit towards supporting Carlos's campaign to raise funds for firefighters. This particular funding, as Carlos pointed out, it is for the firefighters that are exhausted and for the charities that support them. Something I'm going to go back to Carlos to tell you, because it's important that he gets that out there. It's his charity, it's his album, is that he's actually raising funds and he's actually made some payments. And if I could just go back before we play some more music and ask Carlos just to explain how this money is donated. It's not just sitting in Carlos's bank. Let's get rid of the cynics. Let's get rid of the elephant in the room. This guy is actually physically passing. So Carlos, tell his folks about how the money gets there. Oh, we got another guy here as well.
We're just going to welcome Lou to the stage, but before Lou, we welcome you to the stage. We are just speaking to Carlos about the question that Paul has just asked him. So, Paul, one more time for our audience, just quickly ask that question, and then we're going to introduce a new man to the stage.
So I think I heard you, Paul.
Sorry, man.
I heard you.
I'll hand it over to you, man.
So basically, we like you said, we're raising the money for the California Fire Foundation, which is for the fire, the firefighters. We made our first donation of $1,000 last Friday, and that's kind of what we're going to do. Every time we reach $1,000 goal, we're going to make a deposit. We're at about 900 as of right before we came on. I'm sorry, we're at about 1,900, so we've already made 1,000. We're at about 900, so we have about another $100 to go. We'll be able to donate another 1,000, probably by tonight or tomorrow, I'm sure.
You bet.
And that's kind of what we've been doing. And then, we've been, full transparency. We've been posting up the donations, where we're doing it, when we're doing it, the receipts and all that. So, like I said, we did our first $1,000 donation on Friday, and we'll be doing our next one hopefully by tonight or tomorrow.
Super, man. Absolutely great. Hey, Lou, how you doing?
I'll tell you what, Paul.
Hey,
We have got Lou on the show, on the One Life Show. Welcome, mister.
It's great. I just want to say right off the bat, Carlos, man, for what you're doing. It's so unbelievable, man. And, the city really needs it. And, I'm not in Los Angeles right now. I'm down in Clearwater, Florida. That's where my band is based. But I lived, for 12 to 14 years right in Hollywood, right in Runyon Canyon. So, all my friends live there. And when I saw this going on, it was just breaking my heart. It's still, I get a little, teary when I think about it and see the destruction. It was like unbelievable, just driving past that used to be one of my favorite rides. Anytime I was stressed out or anything, I would just drive right that strip right there, right up Malibu, right along the Pacific Coast Highway.
Yeah.
My God,
PCH,
it was just so therapeutic and beautiful, and just to watch it in flames, it just breaks my heart, man. So yeah, anything I can do, I'm going to do it. I'm going to try to put together a local benefit down here in Clearwater, Florida, for and try to get some of the proceeds up there somehow.
Cool.
I am fighting a little of what you were talking about. Everybody seems to think that it was just celebrities and $10 million homes that went up in flames, but a lot of people down here, they just don't realize that this is just regular everyday people that lost everything, and they have nothing. They're not going back to their Porsche or their mansion eventually. They're going back to nothing right now. So anything we can do, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you know what, Lou? Everybody's saying about your band, your album, Disciple Dogs, I gather you've come through from, because everyone keeps posting about Disciple Dogs. Is that the band?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the Decibel Dogs, yeah. And the name of the track is Everywhere You Look. And the chorus is Everywhere You Look, there's a beautiful girl in Hollywood. So, I had to, that was the fitting song to send for this disc. Just to try to, cheer people up and just remind everybody of the beauty of LA and how amazing the city really is.
Fantastic. Lou, we were talking about the rebuild. We were talking about the fact that you've got to go back to day-to-day life eventually. For yourself this year, you must be devastated with what's gone on, but you've got to get back to real life. You've got to get back to supporting your families and getting back to making Hollywood great again. So very quickly, we can't give you too long on tonight's show, but for yourself, Lou, you're saying about, putting a CD together, helping out this benefit charity, helping Carlos and things like that. But, if people want to come and see your shows or come and see your band, have you got anything we can see?
Right now, we're kind of a new band. So we do have some tracks out there on, SoundCloud and stuff like that. I'm going to be dropping some videos on YouTube really soon, but, we're getting some shows together. My guitar player Joe is formerly with the band. He played with Sabotage and John Oliva, and I was in the band in New York. In the Teaser Takashi era. So we just put it together down here. So we don't really have much out there right now, but you'll be seeing a lot of us soon.
We're gonna get you out there. We're gonna get you out there. LA needs you right now. LA needs every single band. I'll tell you what. Once this is all over, let's have those big concerts. Let's get you really out there. Every single indie artist, okay? Lou, I'm afraid I'm going to have to cut you short, mister, because I've got a track that everybody's going to love, Land of Plenty.
Thank you so much. But I just want to
You're
say
welcome, mister.
Thank you, man.
Stay with us
Stay with us.
We're just playing some music, dude.
Stay with us. Come and
Oh,
listen
I'm
to the
gonna
music,
listen.
okay? If you want to say,
I'm
come and have a
listening.
drink with us,
I'll
okay?
get on.
When it breaks up and I
Stay
have to
listening.
let someone else in, I'll let someone else in, okay? So, Paul, Land of Plenty is
Thank
your
you,
track and
Carlos.
it's coming up next. Okay, here we
Okay.
go.
Thanks, Lou.
All right, man.
Costs are rising, out of control, and the taxman chasing me for the money I owe. Ain't no chance for a man with a wife and a family. Gotta work himself to the bone just to help him get him free. There ain't nothing to be proud of in a land of plenty. Yeah, nothing to be proud of. Yeah, me. Kids grow hungry while the old grow cold, and the vets just sleep on the streets 'cause there ain't no homes. But we give you money to wage a war on a foreign land, so you can hold your head since your country took a stand. There ain't nothing to be proud of in the land of plenty. There's nothing to be proud of, believe me. Ain't nothing to be proud of in the land of plenty. Ain't no work for everyone, you ain't no money at all. But you just walk them streets, wonder who you gonna call. Ain't nothing to be proud of in the land of plenty. Ain't nothing to be proud of, believe me. Nothing to be proud of, yeah, for you and me. Nothing to be proud of, yeah, I wanna be free. Ain't nothing to be proud of, yeah, for you and me. Can we really hold our heads high? Can't you see? Ain't nothing to be proud of, for you and me. Ain't nothing to be proud of, yeah, can't you see?
Okay, that's one of the great songs from the album itself, from the Mr. Paul Austin band, Land of Plenty. I tell you what, we heard it loud and proud, and I hope our artists also heard it loud and proud in the background there, who's joined us on the show tonight. So, next part of the show, we are going to give you an opportunity to have some of your comments read out. I'm going to read them out live on the show. While I collect those comments, what I want to do is go back to the live pictures from LA and show you really what's going on in LA right now. So we had said between us all that we know that these fires are still raging. Let's find out what today is really about. Let's see if the fires are out at the moment, or they're as bad as what they were when they first started. And you're going to be surprised when I show you this next clip, everybody. Stay with me, and I'm going to also read out some of your comments after this next.
Power of AI to build the website you need with full business functionality. Full business functionality.
Let's just stay quiet, everybody, because this is a live stream from LA. This is being streamed as we are now talking on the internet. Okay, these are the fires and the devastation that is still going on for hundreds of thousands of families around the LA and around California, etc., where the fires have spread to. It's not going anywhere soon. Look at it. Absolutely devastating. I'm so sorry on the behalf of everybody who is suffering. You are in our hearts in the UK and around the world. You are in our hearts. Absolutely awful and absolutely devastating.
I think that's important to let people know it's still raging.
It is. And do you know what? I thought for myself in the UK, I'd go and see, because you can on, that's the power of the internet. Okay. And this is what I'm asking you all tonight. Okay. Those wildfires are spreading so quickly in the LA. Come on. At the end of the day, the internet is spreading just as much. It's viral. Every single CD. You go on TikTok, and it's just been safe for you Americans out there. You can go on TikTok and you can carry on life. Okay. But to make something viral takes seconds, okay? At the end of the day, let's make this single go viral. Let's make it the Guinness Book of Records of songs, okay? At the end of the day, we need the internet. We need the power of the internet to go viral from today and from all the radios, interviews, and, interviews coming up in the next few weeks. It's going to be easy to go viral. So let's get some of your comments on the show tonight. I tell you what, we have had them flooding in. And I know that you're watching, and I'm going to get Carlos to help me, because he probably knows half of these people. They're probably friends and families and fans, etc. So let's read out a few of them tonight. We have got Dawn, who's we've already said is that basically you are badass for putting this album out, and you're a badass group. Okay, so we have got Dawn, and also Yellow Number 5. Let's set the record. I don't know who Yellow Number 5 is. Do we know who Yellow Number 5 is, Carlos?
Yellow Number 5 is one of the awesome bands that have contributed one of their songs to our CD compilation.
They have, and they're a great
Fantastic. Christine Avalera, this is great. Well done, Carlos. In relation to some of the other comments that we've got, Christine also says, I'll be happy to advertise and promote it. Christina has now eventually left us now, so when I'm talking, she's probably off. She's just put, have a great day, all. Sadly, my lunchtime is now over. She's at work, because you are at lunchtime over there in the US. So, everybody who's joined us in the US and you've joined us on your lunch break, thank you very much for joining the One Live show. I know you're very busy working your lives over there, but lunchtime is very important to you. So thank you for joining us on the One Live show. In relation to Alison Mason, happy to support and spread the word and contribute. I'm proud of your success, Carlos. I know your heart is in it, and you are very much appreciated. So, Alison, give us a little context.
Oh, Alison's so awesome. She's also known as Metal Babe. She's one of the most iconic women in the Los Angeles music scene. She supports a lot of the bands. She has a clothing line. She does all kind of stuff. She's like, she's just a super, super cool girl. Her husband is in one of the bands that's also on the CD compilation called Cooter Brown. She's also very good friends with some other good friends of ours, another band called Lit Soul that is on the CD's compilation as well. So these are all really good friends of mine, people that we hang out with, people that we play with, and people that we support, and they support us. And like I said from the beginning, we're all one big happy musical community, basically.
Fantastic.
So Metal Band
I'm loving the
rocks!
comments. I tell you what, I'm loving the comments tonight. I'm loving the fact that people are getting involved. One Life is about a community around the world, and we are around the world. In terms of One Life, we are from the UK to Greece to America to France. We are a community of basically musicians who are supporting everybody around the globe. The heavy rock band, he says, I followed your link, Carlos, and posted on Facebook. You're doing a great job collaborating all these tracks in one collaboration. We were more than happy to donate a track and the purchase, the download. Well done, Carlos. I tell you what, getting all those people together, that's going to take you some time. You're going to be a very busy man for the next few months.
I've been very busy the last week, matter of fact, but it doesn't matter. It's something for a very good cause, so I'm down to do it.
Can I just add something a little bit that's...
Yeah, what you got, Paul?
I just wanted to say that even though we're doing each album, each record's coming from all over the world, I want you to know that record that I did for you and put on there had musicians from Slovakia involved and from Hungary. Can you imagine?
Oh, wow.
So We put together
awesome.
that song. Absolutely, we've got one of the best drummers in the world. He's from Slovakia. His name's Fofo, and one of the hottest guitarists that I've ever met in my life. A guy called Adam Gieler, and he jumped in and we put that together when we had the lyrics and banged that out to you guys. So I want you to know it's not just from an independent country. There are musicians from different parts of the world that have come together, collaborated, banged a song out. So hi to Slovakia, hi to Hungary as well for getting involved in supporting stuff and getting music out to what you're doing there. And I'm going to come back for the last time. For those listening, we're going to bust the Guinness Book of Records. And I know that it's going to be there because I know that this guy's going to wake up in the morning, maybe with 1,000 people wanting to get involved. So keep pumping it. We've not mentioned this, but I'm going to go back to Carlos because it's his thing. But man, you need to tell what these folks can pay to download 300 records, which if you paid $1 a book would cost you $300 to buy all those records. So let them know how much it costs right now, Carlos, to get that 300 songs or individual. Over to you, man.
It is the whopping discount low price of only $10. $10.
There you go.
Over 300
nothing,
songs.
absolutely nothing.
I know.
$10
and check
for
this
Can you
out.
believe it?
I'm adding more songs, and anybody that's watching, listening, or replaying, or wherever you're at and you're listening, if you're in a band, if you got a song and you want to send it and you want to help out, you send it to stonebreedband@yahoo.com. Please send it in a WAV file if possible, and we will put it on there. And make sure you put the name of the track and the name of the artist on there, because a lot of people have been sending me just like a WAV file and doesn't say the name of the band. It just says like Drum Mix V1 or something. So I have no clue who it is. I got to email them back. Go, yeah, what's the name of your band? But yeah, only $10. So I mean, come on, what's $10? That's a cup of coffee.
$10 in the UK. Let's just put this in respect of everybody. $10 in the UK. I went for a drink in our pub last night, and my beer was £9. That's nearly like $10, and one beer. That's all it was. We put those $10 together. We can raise thousands to support these fires and get these fires put out. You alone, in this album, you have raised how much?
Close to $2,000 so far, and it's just now getting started. So
well done.
Yeah.
Absolutely fantastic. Yeah. Well done. In a matter of a few days, by the time you've done this show, by the time you've done all the shows around the radio, you are going to be absolutely like flying. And I tell you what, those fires are going out in no one's business.
That'd be awesome.
They're going out. I can see it.
Hey, Adrian, I think it's also important to let you know that Carlos has not told you this, but you could, if you have a particular song that you want to just download independently for $1, you can download one song. So
yeah, say you got a friend on there that just has one song you want to support, you can just download one song for $1.
And you know what else?
That's amazing.
Each one of these bands has at least a minimum of 300 to 400 followers, right? Because they're only indie band, they're getting it going. Some of them have got a lot more, but the average is between 300 and 500 followers. If we worked out that 300 bands, 500 followers, that's 15,000 followers there. If each one just downloaded one record, this guy's got 15 grand towards his charity. So the message is, okay, maybe
let's make it happen, everyone.
Download one song.
Let's make it happen.
15,000 people out there. One song is a lot of money for this guy. So the show is about.
I'll tell you what.
Another good thing about this. Carlos. Oh no, I was gonna say another is it's not just a donation. You're not just donating. You're getting something for it. You're getting
absolutely
over 300 songs, and then like say right now you're listening and you want to buy right now. You spend $10. You buy it right now, and then 5 days from now you realize that there's 75 more songs added. All you got to do is go back through Bandcamp and you have access to those 75 songs as well. So not only does $10 get you the 300, it gets you everything that comes on this Bandcamp album. If we're going to go for the Guinness Book of World Records, we're going to go for at least 500 to 1,000 songs on there. So,
well, I tell you what people need, and to go back to one of our famous DJs over here in the Chris Boyle show. Every single time we talk about radio, what people want is they want music. They want great music. We are going to play loud and proud back-to-back tracks from the album now. We're going to cut the talk because I know what the comments are like. Everybody will be like, When's the music going to be played? When are we going to rock this town? We are going to rock it right now because all of the music on this album is absolute quality. Turn it up loud and proud wherever you are. If you're in the kitchen, whether you're in your car, whether you're listening to your friends and your relatives, whether you are sitting next to someone who is looking at those fires right now and you want to pull them up from that ground, do you know what? If you've got a device that can play a bit of music, play it in their ears right now. Let's get them through a really difficult time together as One Life does in the best, proudest way. Okay, so we are going to play. Our next one is Greenback Heart Attack. Let's have a... Do we know anything about this song, Carlos?
I don't really know much about the song. I know the band. They're called Kicker and the Diamonds. So also friends of mine, band that I played with before. Little more on the country rock, hard rock countryish side, I would say. Pretty good band. They're friends of mine.
Cool.
They're great. So I'm excited to listen to the track right now.
Amen.
Brilliant. And what I love about this album, you've got something for everybody. You've got rap to country to hard rock, metal. You've got something for everyone. So what we're going to go back to back. We're going to do Greenback Heart Attack, and then we're going to go to Kid 6. Okay, so we get a bit of a break. We're going to play these back to back, and we're going to give our audience what they want, what they come for. It's great music. Okay, so Paul, I'll answer that question after the back to back track. We're going to take a bit break, everyone. Enjoy the songs as they come along.
Your homework and your time, and if you're lucky, you can keep the things that make
Fantastic. Okay, before I play the next one, I was going to play it back to back. We've had a very important message, and I want to make sure that everybody gets this message because it's a bit of a theme of what we know about the LA Fires because it's someone who's had an experience of the LA Fires herself. So I'm going to bring this message on because I think it's really important that we keep reading out your comments. We keep finding out how you're affected by the LA Fires while we're doing our tracks. So I'm going to take it away and hide it, but I'm going to read it out for everybody. Actually, no, I'm not. I'm just going to read it from the screen. It says, thank you, One Life, for giving a cause and a compilation across the pond, a platform to have a community to support Carlos, okay? Thank you, Carlos, Stonebreed, and Alliance Records for being the brainchild and the investigators behind the aid and this communion. Thank you for letting Stone Pushers contribute to this cause, our management company based in LA. Therefore, we know affected who are close to calamity. We're also playing at a Whiskey A Go-Go in LA on the 25th. We are so really wanted to give something to the people in LA. Do you know what? Actually, I love the comments that are coming through tonight. I love the fact that you are sharing your stories about how you're affected. Keep sharing them, even after the show tonight, because at the end of the day, Carlos, we're going to have to let go at one point, and he's still going to be putting all your great singles onto the album, okay? So we are going to be 15 minutes into the show, and that's what we're doing this evening, because Carlos, as I'm speaking, is receiving all of your great tracks. And I know at the beginning of the show this evening, he was basically uploading all your great tracks onto the album, okay? So in terms of Moving Lines, hey guys, it's Jill and Kev here from Moving Lines. You may have been one of the artists who have been put onto the album. If you have been put onto this great album, you are in a very special place because I believe this album is going to be a Guinness Book of Records. I believe that this album will grow bigger than we've ever seen any indie album out there ever. Okay, so I'm going to play one last track, and when I'm going to come back, I'm going to ask Carlos a few more questions before you go. And also out there in Facebook, X, and YouTube, if you've got any questions for Carlos, this is your last opportunity to get those questions in, okay, before we go this evening. This is another track played from the album, okay, that you can purchase. What did we say? $10. That's it. $10. Nothing. Okay. Just 10. Okay. Put it towards a good cause, everybody. Let's get it out there. So Kid 6 is the last song that I'm going to play you for the album, because I'll tell you what, if you want to listen to any more, you've got to pay for it. You're not going to get it free from One Life. I'll tell you what, we've give you a little tease tonight. We're not going to give you the whole album. If you want it, pay for it. Okay, get that support to the LA Fires. Get it to Carlos. It's the best person you can get it for. Okay, so Kid 6, any questions or anything else you want to contribute towards tonight's show? You've got 15 minutes left.
Such a fine line, with too much whiskey, too much wine. The days blur together. What is today? It's obvious to see, but obviously not to me. Got so good being bad, now my good ain't no good. So sad. Stretching lies. I can never say no when she's so easy on the eyes. Same old song, won't stay alone. Come on in and join the party. Like a beast that thrives on the feast, I faded once again. So sad.
Okay, fantastic. Okay, so the last track from this evening, the last few comments of the last 10 minutes coming on. I'm going to bring the guys back on, unmute their microphones. So, guys, great tracks, from the album. That's only 6 of them tonight that we've given people, and access to over 160 songs and growing up to 200 in one night tonight. 300 tonight. Actually, I can't keep it up with it. I tell you what, Carlos, can you do us a favor when you're doing your Facebook updates? Keep everybody informed of how many people are going on that album, because we know you're going to be busy. I tell you what, your friends and your family must love you at this precise moment of time, because they're not even seeing you in the bed. I bet they're literally, in terms of your friends and family, is there friends and family with you? Are you a family? Have you got kids?
Oh yeah, I've got 3 adult kids now. I have a wife. I have 3 children. They're all adults. All moved. 2 of them have moved out of the house. My oldest son, he's a little rock star drummer. He lives with me. So yeah, I'm a family man.
You're a family man. Do you know what? I want to bring us back to this tonight. One of the things that One Love does so well is building a community, but is also building a army of indie artists who basically look after each other, look after themselves. And, we are all up till God knows what time of night, getting the next track out there, the next album out there. But I tell you, the ones who work harder, the indie artists who will do their utmost to make sure that there's no one left homeless, no one left unsafe, and also no one left, with food not on their plate. I've heard these stories by you all over the last year, and that comes from the indie community. And how strong is that? Carlos, I'll tell you what, mate, you've got friends and family. You're going to have a busy time over the next few weeks. Look after yourself, mate. Don't let this overtake you. You've got an army behind you, a huge one by the looks of it. But look after yourself, okay? Because at the end of the day, you need you to be nice and strong for everybody, okay? Paul, you were saying that you're going over to the US, okay? You're going to experience this firsthand, very first trip over to the US.
No. I was my first band back in the early 80s. We played at Laguna Beach, and
I didn't want to mention his age. That's what it was. No, I was trying to forget it for you.
Listen, now that I know that Carlos and I are in the same age group, I don't mind saying it, but in the 80s, we played a lot of shows around LA. So I know the place very, very well. I think a few last words from me. I just want to mention, I see that Mike Whittington came on. So a hell yeah back to Mike for his show and pushing everybody out. I heard you on that today as well, Carlos. And he really got behind you and has got that show out to something like 20 different radio shows around the world. So Mike Whittington, thank you for supporting us and thank you for playing the music. Yeah, that was
Mike
a really
has been getting this out there everywhere.
Oh yeah,
I'm
listen,
amazed.
a 10 out of 10 for Mike, and God bless him and his family and what he's doing for everybody there. My last words to you, Carlos. I look forward to hopefully catching up with you, man, in August when we play the whiskey. I'll be coming with the Slovakian musicians as well, so we're looking to really make an exciting trip and have some good shows, and we'll talk about that another time privately. But today, with your show,
absolutely, I will be at that
it's your
show.
thing, man. Yeah, it's your thing. I know you were posting the day that you've had a few creeps giving you some bad vibes. I told you myself, chill out from those guys that give you the bad shit that's in the air these days. You don't need it. You've been an inspiration to right now over 300 bands. You're an inspiration tonight to everybody as well. So look, take care of yourself, man. That is right. Get the sleep you need as well. You're working. Adrian, thanks for putting the show out. I think it's been a great thing. It's something new as well for this fella to reach into the UK, right into the heart of the UK here, man. He's grabbed the heart of the UK. So I hope
grab the heart of the UK.
I hope
good. We will. I tell you what, Stonebreed has got to come over to the UK. Come over to the UK. Come and play for us.
Yeah, we'll get him. But Mike, I'm going to drop out. So just a last go. Thanks to Mike again.
Okay, but Paul, stay with us. Because what I want to do is I want to say thank you to you both. Okay, I want to say thank you for bringing a great show. I want to thank you for basically, joining us in terms of such a devastating time in LA, but actually making me feel proud and honored to be an indie artist, but proud and honored to be part of your friendship and your family about how we can support and save this horrible event over in LA. So I want to thank you both and say to you that I will be there for you whenever you need me. Okay. Whenever you need my help, I'm there. One Life is there for you. Okay. We're a community. We will support you the best way we can. I'm going to finish tonight's show on thanking all of my guests, all of the ones who have made comments tonight. Please keep going. Comment on the show. I'm going to send it out. This is on Facebook right now, live and proud. On Xbook. What's going on? Okay, on X. Okay, on YouTube. It is everywhere tonight. Please make sure that you get this message out to everybody. Keep putting your comments on. Keep putting your support on there. If you know a local group who are supporting the families over in LA, put what that support group is. If you're literally supporting by giving support, and I've seen loads out there, supporting by giving musical instruments to kids, you know, to rebuild their music, rebuild their schools, giving musical instruments to artists, whatever you are doing to help the fires in LA, be proud. Put it on our website, put it on our support. Let's get the message out there. Let's get this album out there. And I'll tell you what, I will make sure that I always keep to my promise, and that is bring you the very best entertainment on the One Live show. And we'll be back live tomorrow night. And I'll tell you, Paul, before we go for tomorrow's night, so that nobody forgets what they're up to, because we're so busy lately and everybody wants to come on the One Live show, which I absolutely love. I forgot to actually put the artists in there. So tomorrow night, everybody, on the One Live show, if you join us at 7 o'clock, you'll be joining Joe Kane, who will be bringing his music and also his music journey and how he became an indie artist, but also how his music reaches out globally and nationally to local charities in his community and also spreads the word like we've done tonight. So thank you so much. I'm going to let Paul say the last words because he's wanting to jump in there.
I always do the last words. My last words are going out to all the bands that have contributed, over 300 of you. We're reaching out to each other. If we can start to follow each other as well, you'll build another community. I talked to Carlos about that. You could have another community, you know, that could be in the thousands following your own music. I want to say a big thank you to all the radio DJs that are supporting Carlos around the world, and there are a lot of them, in particular Mike Whittington, who was really getting it out there amongst his syndication. But you know what? I've came up with my new thing, and I think this is it. Just putting up the two hands tells you it's $10. That's the sign now. $10 buys you 300 songs and growing, but it's an evolving album that Carlos has got going here. So it could be 10,000 records very shortly. There it is. That's the number, 10. $10.
$10. 10. That's all we're asking. $10. I'll tell you what.
That's a better deal
out there in AI land, can someone do me a favor in the supporters tonight? Can you create a AI cartoon or, you know, a picture of the LA fires and just put $10 on it, because that's all it costs to buy this great album. Paul, I'm going to have to leave the show because I've got to get ready for tomorrow's show. Thank you so much for joining us. Everybody else out there in Radio Land and also podcast world, we will see you tomorrow night at 7 o'clock. Make sure you're there. Take care, everyone.
$10.